So today we are starting from Unit 3, Fire Risk Assessment and Management. Their main points are conducting through fire risk assessments, implementing appropriate risk control measures, developing and maintaining accurate records of fire risk assessments. And fourth one is designing comprehensive fire emergency plans. So first point is conducting thorough fire risk assessments. First one is systematic approaches. Conducting a thorough fire risk assessment involves several steps to ensure that all potential hazards are identified and addressed. The process typically includes: number one, identify hazards. So in this chapter, we will study about identifying risk assessments. So first point is identify hazards. There are some types to identify hazards. First one is sources of ignition. Identify potential sources of heat such as electrical equipment, open flames, hot surfaces, and chemical reactions. So you have to identify sources of ignition, from where the ignition to be start. So you have to identify and sort out that sources to overcome the hazards. Second point is sources of fuel. So identify the sources of fuel, from where the fuel will exist. Identify materials that could burn, including flammable liquids, gases, and combustible solids like paper, wood, and textiles. So these items would be in your mind. So these are the sources of fuel which can be cause of burning. Third point is sources of oxygen. So identify areas where oxygen levels might be higher than normal. We have studied in the back slides that minimum 21% oxygen level is required for fire. So you have to recognize the sources of oxygen. If the limit is higher than the normal position, so you should address them and you should record them and you should forward the message to the upper management, such as near ventilation systems or in areas where oxygen cylinders are stored. Second point is identify people at risk. So you have to identify the people who are at risk, like employees, like visitors, like vulnerable individuals. Vulnerable individuals means those persons who are disabled, who cannot move from one place to another easily. So you have to identify the people who are at risk, like employees, visitors, or disabled persons. Next slide, 47. Slide number 47 is evaluate, remove, reduce, and protect from risk. Evaluate risks. Assess the likelihood of each hazard causing harm and the potential severity of the consequences. Second point is remove or reduce risks. Implement measures to eliminate hazards where possible or reduce the risk of ignition and spread of fire. You have to remove or reduce the risk areas. Move the combustible materials if they cause for harm, cause for fire. So you have to remove or mitigate the risk. Next point is protect people. Install fire detection and suppression systems, ensure clear evacuation routes, and provide appropriate training to all building occupants. So you have to protect people. Fourth one is record, plan, inform, instruct, and train. Record findings. Document the hazards identified. Those hazards you have identified, so document it. Document them, the actions taken to mitigate them, and any additional measures needed. Emergency plan. Develop and implement an emergency plan that includes evacuation procedures and communication strategies. So you have to intimate all the occupants, all the employees and workers working in that area. So you have to communicate them, you have to train them, and you have to guide them the emergency plan. If the emergency situation occur, you have to train them that these areas are for the emergency plans. Emergency exit ways are these one. Emergency doors are these one. Emergency contact numbers are these one. You have to communicate each and every person in that area. So that will be very needful in the emergency causes. Inform and instruct. Ensure that all occupants are aware the fire risk and measures in place to control them. And training. Provide regular fire safety training and drills practices to ensure everyone knows what to do in an emergency. That's the point. Review and update. Regular reviews. You have to review regularly. You have to update the assessment whenever there are significant changes to the premises, process, or occupancy. If there some changes, the companies made some changes in a month or day after or after 3 months. So new equipments arrive in the company, or the new process or the new way of work is arrived, is designed. So you have to be aware that new process and update to all the occupants in the company. Implementing appropriate risk control measures. Risk control measures. Once hazards are identified, appropriate control measures must be implemented to mitigate the risks effectively. These measures can be categorized into 3 points. Number 1, preventive measures, good housekeeping. Keep areas clean and free from clutter to minimize the amount of combustible material. Electrical safety, regularly inspect and maintain electrical installations and equipment to prevent faults that could cause fires. And the storage, store flammable materials in designated areas away from the ignition sources and in appropriate containers. So these are the main points. First, you have identified the hazards, then you have to calculate the hazards, and next thing is you to action preventive measures. You have to take preventive measures actions. So mitigate the risks. Protective measures, you have to install fire detection systems, you have to install fire suppression systems, and the companies should install fire resistant materials. Okay, these are the main things to install in the new building. The building should be constructed according to the new construction laws, construction method. So it will be very useful for anyone to work and earn, or to move safely from one place to another, or to be isolated in the emergency plans. Procedural measures, emergency planning. Develop and implement comprehensive emergency plans that outline evacuation procedures, assembly points, and communication strategies. So these are the procedural measures. So you have to communicate every person, every occupant in the organization about the emergency planning. You have to communicate them, and you have to inform them about the evacuation processes, evacuation exit procedures, and where to in the emergency point, in the emergency time, where the occupants should be gathered, where all the working employees should assemble in some point where it will be the safe point in that company. Training and drills. Provide regular fire safety training to employees and conduct fire drills to ensure everyone knows what to do in an emergency. Simple words and important words. Maintenance. Ensure that all fire safety equipment and systems are regularly inspected, tested, and maintained. developing and maintaining accurate record for fire risk assessments. Record keeping. So this is the main point. You should, once the hazard occur in the organization, if you do not record, so it's mean the hazard does not occur. Does not occur. So recording is the main thing. If the new management came, if the new management and all the working employees if changed and new team arrived, so they should review the previous hazards record, so they would be aware of the hazards and the another things about the organization, so they will be already ready for that. Record keeping is the most important thing. Maintaining accurate and up-to-date records of fire risk assessments is essential for ensuring ongoing compliance and effectiveness. Key aspects include documentation, hazard identification, control measures, training records. All should be documented, and regular reviews, scheduled reviews and incident reviews. Conduct regular reviews of fire risk assessments to ensure they remain relevant and effective. Incident reviews, review and update assessments following any fire related incidents or near misses to incorporate lessons learned. Updating records, changes in premises, update risk assessments to reflect any changes in the building layout, occupancy or use. New hazards, add new hazards and control measures as they are identified. Okay, if the new hazards and control measures are identified, so you should have to record them, you should have to put in the document, so it will be easy for the new team. Tailored emergency plans. Fire emergency plans should be tailored to specific environments and scenarios to ensure they are effective in protecting occupants and minimizing damage. So each company should plan customized emergency drills. So it is not hard and fast rule for every company, so that they should drill like the same process. Every company, because in the textile industry, the drill will be another process, and in the construction field, the assembly area and the occupants and the working area should be different. So every company have the rights to plan the emergency trainings according to their own organization, according to their criteria. Main thing is to minimize the damage. Evacuation procedures. So you are viewing, you should learn from the picture down, say, so that there will be every notice board on the wall and something areas where should be intimated that there are the emergency plans, there are the this is the way to emergency exit, this is the way to here it is fire first aid kit, here is the communication numbers, so each and everything, fire extinguishers are here, so fire extinguisher points should be labeled and should be communicated and trained to each and every person. Evacuation process routes and exits should be clearly marked. Okay, assembly points should be clearly communicated to every person. Fire wardens, designate and train fire wardens to assist with evacuations and ensure all areas are clear. Communication, establish clear communication channels to provide instructions and updates during an emergency. So there should be a clear communication system in the emergency situation in the company. Designing comprehensive fire emergency plan. Emergency contact information, internal contacts and external contacts. Internal contacts include contact details for key personnel responsible for managing the emergency responses. External contacts provide contact information for emergency services such as the fire department, police, and medical services. So these are the important things in the organization. They should keep record, they should know about each and everything. Special considerations. Vulnerable individuals. We have already discussed vulnerable individuals like disabled persons. Develop procedures to assist individuals with disabilities or limited mobility during evacuations. So if there are some disabled persons in the organization, so you should also make a training for that persons, that how can they move in the emergency situation from one place to another. High risk areas. Implement additional safety measures for high risk areas such as kitchens, chemical storage rooms, and server rooms. So make any additional implementation about the high risk areas. So mark that area with the label and write there that this is no go area for every person, because it is high risked area. Regular drills and training are most important. Practice drills and training. So next unit is unit 4, Fire Safety Management System. Fire Safety Management System, FSMS. It is called FSMS. FSMS means Fire Safety Management Systems. Establish robust fire safety policies and procedures. Organize and deliver effective fire safety training programs. Monitor and audit fire safety practices. Implement continuous improvement initiatives. So the lectures are recording. I have already shared with you first two lectures, part 1 and part 2 with you. So you can go and watch them and write the notes for and prepare yourself for examination. So this lecture is also recording. You can also keep notes. So these are the important things you should know. You should be aware of that. Establish robust fire safety policies and procedure. Alignment with organization goals and regulatory requirements. Policy development. Purpose and scope. Define the objectives of the fire safety policy, outlining the organization's commitment to ensuring a safe environment. And these are the some legal policies about the fire safety. Legal compliances. Ensure that the policy complies with the relevant fire safety laws and regulations such as OSHA. OSHA means Occupational Safety and Health Act. We have studied in the first unit. Occupational Safety and Health Act. Okay. It is not the OSHA course. This is the OSHA legal compliance of the US. OSHA standards in the US, or the regulatory reform Fire Safety Order 2005 in the UK. In the UK, fire safety law is Fire Safety Order 2005, and in the US, it is called OSHA, OSHA. Roles and responsibilities. Clearly define the roles and responsibilities of all personnel involved in fire safety, including top management, fire wardens, and employees. Establish robust fire safety policies and procedure. Fire risk assessments. Develop procedures for conducting regular fire risk assessment to identify and evaluate potential fire hazards. And fire prevention. Establish measures to prevent fires such as proper storage of flammable materials, electrical safety protocols, and regular maintenance of equipment. So in this course, the awarding body wants to educate the students so they can assess the fire risk areas and also make some prevention measures for fire hazards. So fire inspector should measure and to prevent fires, and should keep proper each and everything like paper, like woods, like any other combustible materials, electrical equipments. So all equipments and things should be in a proper way. So it can be very safe area for working. Emergency response. outline procedures for responding fire emergencies, including evacuation plans, use of fire extinguishers, and communication with emergency services. Record keeping, implement a system for maintaining records of fire risk assessments, training sessions, maintenance activities, and incidents. Organize and deliver effective fire safety training programs. Training program development, needs assessment. Identify the specific training needs of different personnel based on their roles and responsibilities. For example, fire wardens may require more advanced training than general employees. Okay, so fire wardens, who are the firefighters, fire wardens are also called firefighters. So fire wardens should be more advanced, more technical persons than the general employees. General employees would be act in an emergency situation. They cannot face the real hazard time. So training content, develop comprehensive training materials covering fire prevention, detection, and response. Topics should include fire dynamics, basic understanding of how fires start and spread. So in this course, they are describing that a fire inspector, fire safety officer should organize and deliver effective fire safety training programs about the fire dynamics, like how and when fire starts and how does the fire start and spread. Should go to the root cause, should sort out the root cause, how the fire ignition, how fire starts and ignites. Organize fire hazards, identification of common fire hazards in the workplace, use of fire extinguishers, instruction on different types of fire extinguishers and their appropriate use. We will study fire extinguishers in the coming 7th or 8th unit, inshallah. Organize and deliver effective fire safety training programs, evacuation procedures, and emergency communication. We have studied already that. Organize and deliver effective fire safety training programs, training delivery methods. Use a combination of classroom training, hands-on exercise, and e-learning modules to cater to different learning procedures. If you are the safety inspector and you are the fire safety officer, so you have to make a training programs. It should be like classroom training, it should be physical training, it should be e-learning online training system. So any method you can use, but one thing is most important, that each employee should be aware of the fire hazards, should be know how to use and how to act in the emergency plan. Frequency, conduct initial training for new employees and regular refresher courses to keep everyone updated on the latest fire safety practices. So main thing it is. Okay, this is the main thing. Conduct initial training for new employees. You have conducted a training workshop, you have conducted a training fire safety procedure in the previous month, but in this month new employees have come to the organization. They do not know about the fire hazards in this company, they do not know how to act in the emergency plan. So you should be aware, you should be connect with the HR system, you should be connect with the upper bodies, that who and when the new refresher, the new employee has arrived, and you should be responsible to train him. Evaluation assesses the effectiveness of training programs through quizzes, practical drills, and feedback from participants. So it's upon you. It's upon you. You should customize your training program. You should customize to take exam from them, like quizzes, like practical drills, and you should go for feedback forms. Regular monitoring, inspections, conduct regular fire safety inspections to ensure that all fire protection equipment such as alarms, extinguishers and sprinklers systems are in good condition. Compliance checks verify that the fire safety procedures are being followed correctly, such as proper storage of flammable materials and clear access to emergency exits. So you have to check regularly basis. Incident reporting. Implement a system for reporting and investigating fire related incidents or near misses to identify areas for improvement. And the next main important thing is auditing. One thing is internal audit, and the second point is third party audits. You should know that there are different types of audits they conduct in the organization. Some audits will be on chartered accountants should conduct audits for the accounts procedure, and safety in health and the health and safety and the health and safety department will conduct health and safety audit. So each department can conduct on your own audit system. So internal audits, there are two types of audits. Mainly there are three types. First is internal audit, second is external audit, third one is third party audits. So mainly the companies use these two types of audits. One, internal audits. Internal audits means the company conduct audit in their own company. And third party audits means the organization, the company hire and contact to another third party body who conducts audits for the companies. So it will be the companies conduct these because of to audit non-biased. If the company officers do audits, there should be some points of leakage. So third party audits are clear, and the companies should conduct third party audits for international certifications, and this is the authentic audit, third party audits, which is clear and unbiased, which is very useful for the organization's fire safety because it is the international audit. Documentation review. Ensure that all fire safety records are complete, accurate, and up to date, including risk assessments, training records, and maintenance logs. Feedbacks and analysis. Employee feedback and incident analysis. Improvements. Policy and procedure updates. Regularly review and update fire safety policies and procedures to reflect changes in regulations, new best practices, and lessons learned from the incidents. Performance measurement. Key performance indicators. It is called KPIs. KPIs is most important thing to identify each and every person on your organization. KPIs means key performance indicators. Establish KPIs to measure the effectiveness of fire safety management system, such as the number of fire incidents, the effectiveness of emergency drills, and compliance rates with safety inspections. Benchmarking. Compare the organization's fire safety performance against industry standards and best practices to identify areas of improvement.